We're going live now. And hello, everyone who is and will be watching. I see we have Jen from Jen's Little Corner in the chat. We have Mama Atheist. Hi, Manda. We have Donna. I don't know if Dave is still there, but he left his woof at the beginning, as always.
Hiss.
Yeah, so, yeah, you know, because I always kind of wanted to, just like dissect the Christian propaganda I grew up with. And I figured who better to help me to dissect one set in ancient Rome than our resident classicist, Hissy from Hissy's Hideaway.
Hi. Of course, you also knew that as your wife, I would be very angry with you if you didn't invite me to help you do this.
Yes, of course.
And we all know happy wife, happy life, so here I am.
Yep. And yeah, if you don't, if you aren't already subscribed to Hissy Hideaway, go ahead and subscribe after the stream. Or open up a new tab and subscribe now. And of course, let's see. And hello, Robert. And of course, there should be plenty of hissy fits.
You have no idea. 4 pages worth. 4.
And if you don't, in case you don't value your liver, I figured we'd include a little bit of a drinking game. When Hissy mentions Tacitus, take a drink.
Hissy will be drinking too at that point. To be fair, Hissy doesn't mention Tacitus all that much in this one. That's for later. But Hissy will be drinking, smoking, and swearing because, fair warning. There's your fair warning.
And
I'm not sorry.
For those who don't know about the StoryKeepers, it's an animated series that follows. Oh, and hello, Purple. That follows a group of Christians in Rome circa 60 AD, or 64 AD mentioned specifically, and it's basically each episode is divided into sections where there's a through plot of an episode that just follows their misadventures, being persecuted by the evil Romans. And then it's broken up by them telling stories of Jesus. So I figured I'd keep a very special hashtag that I used previously for for that.
Yes. Oh, while we're on that, I'm just going to get this out of the way now. Definitely sexy twink Jesus, those eyes and that Irish accent. Husband, I love you, but you can't compete with an Irish accent. Sexy twink Jesus, there's a reason I'm fanning myself.
You mean aside from the fact that it's roasting in that apartment?
Well, that too. Yeah, I live in an apartment block that gives all the people free heating. But what that means is that the heating never goes off. And because I'm on the 4th floor, heat rises. Heat rises. You're all vaguely sciencey in some way or another, so you all understand what that means. So as my hair becomes more and more greasy as the episode wears on, please don't panic. I'm not feverish. I'm not, I haven't got the dreaded lurgy.
And it's up to you. It's up to you, Amanda. And hello, Santi.
Hey, Santa. Hey, everyone else too, by the way. I just wasn't ready to interrupt before. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Yeah. And I will be. I will kind of need you to keep an eye on the chat.
Cool.
Because also, I'll be, pausing and unpausing the video.
Cool. Also, just FYI, how did you manage to find a version that's not chock full of adverts? The version I got had adverts every 4 minutes in a 25-minute episode.
Yeah, this is kind of weird, but the version I found, it had an ad at the beginning, but there aren't any of those yellow dots in the timeline that says that shows that there'll be an ad break.
I watched it on a kids advertising channel, and I have to say the adverts made an already incoherent plot even more incoherent. No wonder these poor kids don't stand a chance.
But yeah, the YouTube channel is basically just that I found, to play this, is basically a bunch of animated Christian videos.
Cool. You'll have to send me the link so I can watch next week's episode on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Okay. When you're ready. What I'm going to do every time I need you to stop, I'm just going to say pause. So listen out for me.
Okay. So.
Rome, 64 AD. The emperor.
Now you're
probably the most, the only accurate. It's actually, like, this is where we said it.
Really? Your entire city's on fire and you're going to stand there and release a bird?
Yeah. But no, it's like those are probably the only accurate words we will ever hear. Rome, 64 AD.
Actually, no, it's not accurate when you look at the rest of the episode, but keep going. We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay, the closest to being accurate.
Yeah.
Nero has unleashed his fury against the Christians. Their crime? Proclaiming a king higher than Caesar.
Okay. No. No. Their crime was not proclaiming a king higher than Caesar. Their crime was refusing to take part in the state religion, which was tantamount to treason. It's the equivalent of an American soldier refusing to say the Pledge of Allegiance. It's the only thing I can describe it as. I don't know any other equivalent of what that would be. It's the equivalent of it's worse than not paying your taxes. Looking at you, Amazon, looking at you, Starbucks. Yeah, I'm going to get political. Sue me. We're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah. Ooh. Hey, so you ready to continue?
Yeah, for now.
Setting fire to the city, Nero places the blame
on
the Christians.
Nero did not set fire to Rome, nor did he order it set fire to. Nero wasn't even in Rome when the fire went off, when it started.
Yeah, and of course with this introduction sequence, which is in every single episode, it pretty much it's priming the audience for the propaganda.
Oh yeah.
Also,
and by the way, just like the Great Fire of London a few centuries later, the Great Fire of Rome is suspected to have started in a bakery. That's a nice salient point for this series, I think.
Yeah. Also, darn it, Purple.
We didn't start the fire.
It was always burning since the world's been turning. And I think that little line there, that I sang out would probably be more likely to get me a copyright strike than what we're doing.
Yep. Hey, Lisa.
Because it seems, hey, Lissy, Orla. And also...
Before you carry on, Caesar dressed like that.
Yeah.
There is so much wrong with this. Okay.
The
emperor wore pure purple. To the point where the expression donning the purple meant becoming emperor.
Yeah.
So this white friggin' vest dress shit he's got on underneath, nah. All purple.
And
also, why is he wearing Egyptian bangles? I mean, it's possible, but
And also, like, take a look at his character design from a media perspective.
he's incredibly clear-coded.
Well, I was going to say, what with the bags under his eyes and the point, and the lean features, he is drawn to look sinister.
Yeah, he's also drawn to look poverty-stricken. Like he's lacking something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And the way he moves as well, it's just, yeah. It's incredibly problematic.
And of course, when we get to where they show the main characters, you'll see why I'm saying Caesar is designed to look especially sinister in comparison with the Christian characters.
Yeah, he is the cartoon bad guy. He is incredibly. There are several issues with him that we will go through with him and his cronies. Yeah,
Santi, he is he is supposed to be the villain. And of course, Robert, that's a great point. Make the bad guy look bad.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Nero was a lunatic.
Yeah.
Nero was a political nightmare for anyone trying to run a country using him as a figurehead. But he wasn't for his time and his situation, I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, next. Carry on.
And launches a new campaign to wipe them out. Families are separated.
They were never trying to wipe Christians out. It wasn't until 257 AD, 200 years after this is supposedly set, when anyone specifically, where there's any record of a specific imperial level moment where there was an order made specifically that targeted Christians. Before then, they were targeted for not sacrificing to the gods as part of the Roman public religion. Which, again, it's like not paying your taxes. It's like, it's treason. Because the gods supposedly protect the cities and the empire. And as the empire is everything, you make your sacrifices to the gods. It's just a thing.
And also,
I have an anecdote here that will highlight it.
Okay.
We both know someone, and I'm not going to give that person's name, but if you'd like to, because you'll recognize the story, that's up to you. We know someone who, when he was about 17, a few years back, when it was a big thing, posted a photograph of him stood barefoot on an American flag. And for the best part of a week, he was trashed on Facebook. He was totally trashed. He was called every traitor, terrorist, you name it, under the sun, for making a political point. Now, personally, all those people who were telling him that soldiers fought and died for his right to do that, yes, they did. And the people having a go at him really need to rethink where they're coming from, because not going for it. But that's the level, that level of blind patriotism and blind obedience to a symbol is the kind of level of blind obedience that was required as part of the Roman public religion. You didn't necessarily have to believe it. In fact, in later years, it was actually kind of, if you did believe it, you were a bit weird, you were superstitious. But you had to do it. You had to go with it. It was a tradition. And it was there.
And also, we can already kind of see, like, obviously this random generic mother lady is supposed to be a Christian. We can already see how the features are softer and more,
the colors are softer
and more empathetic. And of course, we also know that she's a minor character. You know, she's just a random generic extra character, you know, random generic, you know,
No
person.
color.
Yeah, because she's, you know, of color.
Oh no, I have an observation to make about the whole skin color thing.
Yeah.
Watch through this. There's points where I'm going to tell you to look specifically at the skin color of certain characters because I've got a point to make at the end. So keep an eye out for it. Anyway, carry on.
Children left homeless as thousands are sold in.
So I'm gonna, but damn it.
Just there.
Okay, yeah.
Just leave it to play.
Yeah, I was gonna pause it for a specific
Which
frame,
bit are you
but
looking for?
Thrown to the lions.
Right, pause it here.
Yep.
That's the Circus Maximus. That's not the Colosseum.
Yeah.
The Circus Maximus is your Ben-Hur, your running races, your horse races, things like that. It's not your.
Oh, and I accidentally skipped a bit in trying to find that. Still, oh well. But yeah, basically the Circus Maximus was like the NASCAR of the day.
Yeah, it's a NASCAR circuit. It's not a wrestling ring. Anyway, next one.
Yeah, or the NASCAR racing, National Stock Chariot.
You've no idea how accurate that joke is.
Escaping the panic of the fire.
And we see some of the main characters right here, if I remember correctly.
Generic photogenic little white children 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. The colored, or you know, I don't mean to be racist, but this is how it's designed. The sympathetic colored kid in the cage was another main character.
Yeah. Oh, also note how the quote unquote good characters are all barefoot.
Yeah.
But the Romans are always wearing sandals. It's another indication. It's a way of saying, oh, we live in poverty, and it's the whole that going on.
Also, Santi, I think what you're thinking about was actually in a circus, but it was in Constantinople, not Rome.
What, the animals? They would parade animals around the Circus Maximus, for sure.
The color war, where the riot between the greens and the blue chariot teams.
That was the Circus Maximus. That was the chariot teams. Yeah, but what we're saying is that's not where they threw Christians to the lions.
Yeah. Also, if I remember correctly, that was in Constantinople during Justinian's reign.
No, it happened in Rome as well. It was a big thing in Rome.
Okay. So it was a carryover from Rome to the Byzantines.
Yeah.
See, this is why I need a classicist to help me with this.
And dodging the advancing soldiers, a group of children find shelter in the gentle.
And there at the door is our father figure.
I thought you were going to say something else about the door then. You know, for a secret society, they're not very good at keeping secrets, are they?
Oh yeah, and it's a thing in this series where they'll like confirm each other as Christians by like drawing half the fish symbol, and then the other one will complete it.
Yeah, because apparently it makes it look like you're just messing around with the dust under your finger if they're not a Christian.
Yeah.
I've seen better secret handshakes.
Yeah, but once again, the father figure, look at how, he's a happy fat man.
Yeah.
And a bit not as white as other characters, but Yeah.
What you will find is the Romans are very, very white. And
Yeah.
seeing as you've got onto it, I'll say it now. The children, actually, their skin tone changes depending on the circumstances they're in. So Cyrus is always African looking, but his skin tone gets darker when he's in more danger. And the other kids as well, the skin tones get darker when they're in more danger.
And I had twigged onto the changing, skin tones. I did it when I watched it as a kid, but I thought it was just shitty animation.
No, they're conflating being black or being dark-skinned with being treated badly by the Romans. They tried to conflate it with modern slavery.
Yeah.
That's my reading of it anyway.
This is very inclusive.
Oh, wait till you see the woman.
Yeah. Their skin tones change depending on the risk level. That's effed up.
Yeah, it's like something out of a bad game.
Yeah, and since you're not looking, if you're not looking for it, it just looks like shitty animation.
Yeah, it is. It's a proper subliminal hit. It took me half the episode to notice it.
Well, yeah, and actually, look at this still. He's well lit, showing that they're about to be safe, and they're all dark in the shadows.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, they are in the shadows, so you can give it with that. There's better examples. Carry on.
Yeah.
The care of Ben and Helena.
Right, pause it here. Can you go back and show all those kids, or did everyone see that those kids all have very light skin, almost my skin tone, in that one shot?
Yeah.
Now you can compare them as you go through the episode.
Yeah. And you ready?
Yeah.
And his wife.
And yeah.
Again.
So, there's the perfect image of a loving Christian mother.
Also, can I point out, it's strongly hinted in this episode, especially by their names, their colouring, and a lot of other stuff about them. It's strongly hinted that the parent figures in this family are Jewish converts. Ben, Anna, the names are all Jewish as well. Cyrus is the odd one out with like a Roman-esque name.
And I know that I don't think it's specifically in this episode. I think it's like more later in the series, because there is kind of a sort of overarching plot, but it's heavily hinted that Zach, the oldest kid, the teenager, was a zealot / dissident.
Yeah, I can see that. He's very untrusting. He's very vicious.
Yeah.
But we'll get on to that.
Here the children discover.
And the character in green is Zach. But sorry.
Yeah. Go.
An amazing secret
also,
network of daring
just
men and
did
women.
you see in that shot that you paused? In that shot where you paused, there was a set of taps in the background.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of anachronisms with the equipment and the baking equipment in this show that I'm just going to ignore because I'm not a baker, not my specialty, but there's a lot of anachronisms and stuff like that. I'll focus on the ones that are relevant to propaganda and leave the rest.
Yeah. And also, an incredible secret network of brave men and women. So now, not only are the Christians, the persecuted Christians being equated to, slaves.
It's very much equated to the Underground Railroad.
Or the French Resistance.
That too. That's exactly what they're doing. To me, because it's so American, assumed it was the Underground Railroad they were hinting at, but you can go for the French Resistance as well.
Yeah, it's basic. It is like, this is like essentially pseudo historical persecution porn.
Also, seriously, speaking of, now you said French Resistance, that explains. Check out the pseudo-Nazi imagery in the Romans.
Yeah.
No one said Hail Caesar by raising their hand. No one friggin' Nazi saluted Caesar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, yeah. But it's designed to, it's all designed so these kids who are probably learning the first thing about the Second World War at the same time conflate the two things. It's very, very cleverly done. It's insidious.
And of course, you know, they're not evil because of the mistreatment. They're evil because they're going against Jesus.
Yeah. They don't have Jesus on their side.
And as for Robert's comment, it's a cartoon, not everything is accurate. The point of this is, yeah, you know, it is a cartoon, but it is a cartoon specifically made for Christian kids as propaganda.
Okay, can I, Robert, this isn't a personal attack. This is just something I'm saying. I watched this first episode and I had a memory surface. I was shown this episode in history class in primary school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember it was history because I remember the exercise book I took notes in was green, and my history exercise books were always green because that's how my memory works. I work off color and spatial awareness.
But yeah, that, you know, and of course, with a grandparent that owned a Christian bookstore, we had all of them. We had all the videos. But yeah, this was made by Focus on the Family in association with Zondervan. And in the 90s, Focus on the Family was very big into releasing propaganda for kids.
On that basis, I am going to say, though, anything that I see that could potentially be propaganda on the basis of its provenance, I am assuming is deliberate.
Yeah.
Yay, dyslexia, Jen. Yeah. This was primary school. I'm talking like when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was shown this in history class when we were learning about the Romans, you know, when you do it when you're really young.
And of course,
school.
Yeah, you're going to a Catholic school.
Yeah. Although I was also shown, there's clips in later episodes of them in the Colosseum ring and stuff that I was shown in later date when I was 15, 16 in religious studies class.
Yeah. Studying
the history of Christianity. And they thought this was an appropriate source to show us.
Yeah. We were always persecuted until, you know,
hey, has everyone got your drink ready? It's all based off Tacitus.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Tacitus, take a drink.
Yep. Tacitus, take a drink. You're going to need that banner a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on.
Okay.
Risk their lives to help one another and to tell the stories of the great storyteller, the one called Jesus.
Pause it. Right. The great storyteller. Notice how there's no reference to divinity or anything else. This show used to be on secular TV in the UK.
Now, see, and the thing is, you know, you don't, and to, you know, an evangelical audience, you're already primed to accept Jesus as the, you know, divine Son of God. So you don't need to mention it specifically when you're, you know, portraying it to a Christian audience, because they're already primed to be, it's like, oh, Jesus is the ultimate good.
Yeah. Go.
Also, Robert, I am going to destroy your liver. And hey, grumpy old dude, and
yeah, we love you too, dude.
Yeah, love you too, dude. You know, you got great content. You know, if you're not subscribed to grumpy old dude, subscribe to him at, you know.
Click on his name and click subscribe. It's there in the live chat. Go for it. All right.
Awaiting the day when their parents will return, Anna, Cyrus, Justin.
A family of orphans and people who are in the wrong place for where they should be, following a donkey pulling a cart. What's that reminiscent of?
Yeah.
Go on. Just me and my sarcastic comments.
Yeah. I shouldn't be awake yet, but this is already making me want to start drinking.
Yeah, no, exactly. I watched this at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I had to do it sober because I have a rule that I don't drink before 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pirate, not an alcoholic.
Yeah. I don't ever remember seeing trash like this on TV.
It used to be on kids' TV. I used to watch it on kids' TV. My parents didn't like me watching it. I never understood why. Because I thought it was just a cool story. It was a fun story.
Yeah.
And it was about history and the Romans, and, you know, it was fun and there was danger and all the rest of it.
And for those in the US, I don't think it ever got any kind of airing except maybe on like the Trinity Broadcasting Network or something like that. It was very much direct to video in the US. But I think Nerdy's British.
Yeah, possibly. But I do remember watching it a couple of times. Yes, more real history in Asterix.
Yes.
When I'm doing the Asterix stream, I drink for fun. When I'm doing this one, I drink to cope.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
It's almost 5 p.m. where Robert is.
Is Robert somewhere in mainland Europe? Or North Africa, maybe?
And Marcus embark on the adventure of a lifetime.
Okay, pause it. Really? The aqueduct is a water slide? Really?
Yeah. I think that's a clip from this episode.
It's not, but
okay. Oh no, I think it's from Raging Waters, which was like the 3rd or the 5th, maybe.
Yeah. Also, how does a poor baker afford a solid gold lamp?
Maybe it's brass.
Even if it's brass, most lamps in that era were made of terracotta.
Ah.
They were very rarely made of metal. Don't forget, they were filled with olive oil and burned. They would have got hot.
Oh,
why would you make it out of metal? It doesn't make any sense.
But that's probably a color differentiation thing, seeing as what color the background is.
They painted them in all kinds of bright colors. They painted them like green and black and all sorts. And they did them in wacky shapes and stuff. Put Jen's most recent comment up, please.
Yeah, they had lots of fun on Ancient Rome. Remember Mickey's Mouses?
Yeah, Mickey's Mouses. That's about the level of naming scheme we've got on this episode.
I was wondering how they afforded the mule and cart.
Well, it's strongly hinted that he's a baker, and it's strongly hinted he's very good at his job. Now, there's a famous tomb of a baker in Rome, and this tomb is like 3 stories high or something, and it's in the shape of a giant baker's oven. Because the baker got so rich, he was an ex-slave, but he got so rich selling bread, he paid for this tomb that pretty much is a similar size to the Arch of Tiberius.
Yeah. Thomas and Gerium.
Thomas and Gerium. Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think it's in this episode, but I do remember like several scenes where they like straight up like bribe guards and stuff with pastries.
No, there's plenty in this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one episode has them like baking for a like one of Nero's functions or something.
Yeah. So the baker's tomb is predates this story by about anywhere between 60 and 100 years in the plebeian style. It's actually part of a wall now, but if you look at it, how big is it? I'm going to share a screen and show you this thing, if I can. Viewing browser. Okay. Don't share the screen yet. I'll tell you when.
Okay.
No, not that. This one. Okay, go ahead.
I don't.
I don't know what it's doing. Is it doing it now?
Yeah. No, it's just showing that.
Hold on. Never mind. Hold on. I don't know what that's doing. Let me stop the screen. This is technology. Ugh.
Yeah, though I will say that it's a good thing that this intro is in every single episode, because we're only a minute and 13 seconds in, and we've already been going for nearly 40 minutes.
Okay, Ring, whenever you're ready. Share the screen.
Yep.
Are you seeing the tomb now?
Yeah.
Right. This is a handrail down here. So this is the size we're looking at. All of that is the tomb up to there.
Wow.
It's been galvanized and built into the wall, but all of that is one side of the tomb. And it's huge. And this is a tomb of a freedman of Rome. So this is not some guy who was born into riches. This is a guy who was released as a slave with nothing but his trade to work on. And that's the kind of money he was able to make to build something that size.
Yeah, and purple definitely has it. It's definitely impressive. And I'm going to swap over to the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I just wanted to show you that to give you an idea that when they're saying that bakers are poor Christians, nah.
Yeah.
Bread was the staple diet in Rome. Believe me, he was making a fair living.
And I will say it. We won't be going through the intro ever again, probably.
No, we won't. That's why I'm getting it all out now.
Yeah.
There's not enough alcohol on the planet to go through it every week.
Yeah.
I will die.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Helena and their friends in the Christian underground. Their mission: to keep the stories of Jesus alive.
And just so I can...
That's a perfect shot that you've stopped there, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for the banner.
Not only that, but that's the exact pose for most crucifixion scenes.
Yep.
So, I mean, I am going to do a side video on this. I'll probably release it later today once I've finished filming and editing it. Of all the history of why this persecution complex they have is terrible.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go out today, it will probably go out tomorrow. Because I have other things to do today as well.
Yeah.
But suffice to say that the persecution complex is completely unfounded. You think the divinity of Jesus is the greatest lie ever told? Wait until I tell you about the persecution of Christians. Okay. Go on.
Christians were only outlawed for a few years.
They were never outlawed. Christianity was never outlawed under the Roman Empire. You were perfectly free to worship your Christian God as long as you made your sacrifices to the Roman gods as well.
And I'm going to speed watch through the introductory credits because it's just footage through the catacombs with a French horn in the background, and it's ridiculously catchy.
Do you hear the people sing?
No,
but that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, but it's like I still get the theme tune stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
This is their story. They are the StoryKeepers.
And we're here to just completely tear it apart.
Mm-hmm. We've only been going 40 minutes already. We're only just starting.
So let's see. Playback speed.
On fire while you're doing that.
Yeah. Let's do it at 1.5. Yeah, it's basic. Yeah, basically the thing wasn't, worshiping Jesus as a god. The problem was that they wouldn't